Welcome to War Center. Jared here.
I'm Brian.
Yep. So we're making our push to 1,000 subscribers. I'm gonna get right to it. So if you enjoy this content, click subscribe. It's gonna help us immensely. Once we get to 1,000, it makes us monetized, and we've got some plans to put out some pretty extensive how to play videos, tailored to 3rd edition, since that's likely coming out soon. But big plans, big plans.
Also, I'd like to point out, you should subscribe even if you dislike the content, because how will you know whenever you can join in and roast us?
Yeah, hate click us. I don't mind. Just click subscribe. So, we've got some Ogor Mawtribes versus Maggotkin and Nurgle. You wanna...
Absolutely. So, I'm going to be shooting it to my list, which we will see now. Alright, the list that I'm going to be running today is going to be a Invidian Plague Host. The battalion is going to consist of Sloppity Bilepiper, the Spoilpox Scrivenger, the 20-man unit of Plague Bearers, and a 10-man unit of Plague Bearers. Also in this list, I'm going to be taking Archaon, who will have Glorious Afflictions as a spell, the Great Unclean One, who will be my general, and he will have Favored Poxes, along with Grandfather's Blessing and Endless Gift. In addition, we'll have 5 Putrid Blight Kings.
That's not a lot of models.
No, it is not. So, here's the reason that I put this list together. So, with the changes that they made to the Sloppity Bilepiper and the Spoilpox Scrivenger, along with the new Invidian Plague Host that came out, I figured I would go ahead and run that, give it a shot, see how I like it. I did a little bit of test play. One of the key things that I really liked is whenever I was looking over the Sloppity Bilepiper's changes, it does say in his War Scroll that the things that happen to Nurgle demon units, which Archaon is a Nurgle and a demon, so he will benefit from the Sloppity Bilepiper. So we're going to see if that's able to be useful. I would imagine an anti-pile-in, especially fighting ogres against that, would probably be helpful.
Think we could start a hashtag fart for Archaon.
Yeah, anything because his point value is too high. But hey, we'll find out. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm gonna be changing up tactics a little bit. But yeah, other than that, Great Unclean One is gonna be trying to use the Favored Poxes. Just because I want to throw out some good debuffs. Glorious Afflictions from Archaon, since it's kind of a lower casting value, and I'm going to be running with a Great Unclean One with the Bell and the Bile Blade, so he can sacrifice to bring down his debuff a little bit. Other than that, it's go forth and hopefully don't die too fast. How about yourself? How about your list?
Well, let's see, I'm going to be bringing Ogor Mawtribes. I think I'm bringing what could be considered almost a pure gutbuster army. So let's go over that list now. For my Ogor Mawtribes, I will have a Tyrant General, and I will have no Mawtribe. Interesting. So my command trait will be Crushing Bulk, so he can be treated as a monster when he does a charge. 4 at Mortal Wound instead of 6. He's going to have the big name Brawler Guts, and he's going to have the artifact Graal's Gut Plate. Noticing a theme with this guy. I will have an additional Tyrant with the big name Long Strider. And that's it. That's all he has. Then I'll have a Butcher with a Mallet and the artifact Dracoline Heart. So once per game I can fill up that Maw Pot without having to kill somebody near it. People tend not to get near it, and I wonder why. And then his lore of Gut Magic is going to be the Flesh Crave Curse. So I can do D6 mortal wounds to somebody, but they get +1 attacks on their melee profiles. And it's worth it, as long as you don't roll a 1. Now I will have a unit of 12 Gluttons, then a unit of 9 Gluttons, then the big scary part of the list, a big 8-man unit of Iron Guts, the not scary part of the list, 2 Lead Belchers, then I have a unit of 2 Frost Sabers, they're for objective control and just general board threat, and a Gorger, because I had the point. All this, well, not all of it, but I do have a Butcher's Band battalion. That's going to consist of the Butcher and all of the on-foot Ogres. Yeah, so all on-foot Ogres.
Don't like it.
Yeah, no Beast Claw Raiders.
Too hard.
I mean, kind of. I guess Frost Sabers are technically Beast Claw Raider, but I had the points. So they're there. Really, this list is made, one, because my cousin left his army here, and I'm going to use it. And two, we need a army that's good for first-time lists, good for intro armies, good for list testing, that is enough of a threat to where you can't just, it's not just going to lay over for you, but it's not, it's not an S-tier army. It's not going to just steamroll everything that comes up against it. So it's something to, kind of a litmus test, a gatekeeper army for what we have on our local lists. So that's really the purpose of it, is it'll expose any tactical flaws you may have. But it won't. Again, it just won't steamroll you. You can make some mistakes, but it will punish you for big ones.
Absolutely.
So, if you can't get past this list, then
time to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, exactly. We've kind of got a. Well, I guess it's not an unspoken rule because I'm speaking it now. We can have this rule that you have to beat this list before you can move on or consider your list worth working on.
Yeah.
So yeah, here we go. Test number 1 for the Invidian Plague Host.
We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll see. It doesn't really do much aside from be fat and hit hard. Like, that's...
It does that quite well. So, yeah.
So, we're going to be playing this one in focal points, but we're not going to do any realm rules or terrain features. Just, again, because, we are not able to get together enough, so early practice games like this, it's just going to be list versus list on the battle plan. So with focal points, that is as follows. Focal points, as you can see here, is a deployment on the long edge, but it is 9 inches away from enemy territory. The center objective is worth 2 points, and every other objective is worth 1 point, unless you control these two together, then you get an extra point, or these two together, then you control or get an extra point. Yeah, that's all I have for you. Pretty fancy, eh? Do you like my new setup? I'm going to use this for hobby hangouts on Twitch. Focal Points has one of the little details that a few of the battle plans have, but not most of them, where the deployment is, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, it is 9 inches away from enemy territory instead of 12. So if you are an aggressive army, you can deploy way up, and that also for faction terrain kind of gives you a better idea where you can place to let it run, because that lets you kind of move the faction train further up in your territory, because this one, the territory is the whole half of the board. Right. So you're like me, my Maw Pot can be further up, your tree can be a little more playable, because it's going to be a bigger part of the game later in the game, since it can be so far up, and you can be so far up. So, right. Because sometimes when it's 12 inches away and you try to put your faction train in the center, you may not get use of it, especially like for Ogres, the Maw Pot. If it's too far away from the deployment, but still in my territory, I may not get the benefit of it because I can't get close enough. But this one may solve that problem. So this one, I don't really know what my plans are going to be, aside from I'm probably going to be super aggressive, because again, I just play this list to be like, are you or are you not going to ignore my Iron Guts is your decision. Because an 8-man unit with 1 rend and 3 damage apiece, like they might just whiff, but if they don't, they'll just swing right through you. I've got my 2 tyrants to, give my bully, so they'll probably just stay near an objective in the back line, get bullied, and then run forth and die. I'll have my Frost Sabers to kind of flank and steal objectives if you get too far away from one, and I'll have my Gorger that, if you get too far away from an objective on the first turn, then he'll snake one from behind. Or he'll probably just come in your back line anyway and just be like, I'm here. Are you going to go fight, or are you going to run away? Because I'm just going to stand here and go, I'm going to take that if you leave. You going to eat that?
You want to go? That's just me.
I'm not worth fighting. But if you leave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good times.
So that's pretty much, that's it. That's my whole game plan. That's all I got.
My game plan on this map is, I'm going to try and play it a little bit defensively. I just feel like if I can just maintain let Archeon kind of dish out damage from a little bit further back. Maybe use some of that anti-pile-in, you know, to just let him kind of snake in there, do enough damage, and try and win by attrition in the later rounds. Maybe I'll get enough summoning points during that time frame that I can maybe summon through the back line or something. Who knows? But either way, we're going to try and slow play it. We'll see how that works. Ogre's probably just smash my stinking plague bears to nothing, but whatever.
So you want to tar pit me, but I hit hard, but you want to be aggressive, but if he dies, then you want to be aggressive but pick your battles?
Yeah, pretty much. It's defensive, opportunistic play style, which is not my forte. I want to go forth and conquer, which, you know, I don't have that army right now. We're assembling it.
Yeah.
It'll be here soon.
It's on the dock, if you will.
Daughters of Cain.
Yeah, it's Daughters of Cain. That's what he's going to be playing. It's like Beasts of Chaos with synergy. And talent and ability.
And it hits.
Yeah, and survivability. So it's not like Beasts of Chaos, but it's what Beasts of Chaos wishes it was.
That's what I wish it was.
Yeah.
I'm still painting. Come on, 3rd edition.
Man, so we've got our list gone over. We've got our tactics and the battle plan gone over. I think that about covers it. Gonna say this again, but we are very close to 1,000 subscribers. So please consider subscribing, whether you like us or
Don't even consider it. Just do it.
Yeah, see? That's what he's here for, to just yell.
He's here to plead. I don't care. You do it.
So, after this War Center is going to be the actual battle report. This is separate from the battle reports, so we can actually talk more and get into more detail about this without adding a ridiculous amount of time to the battle report.
And some people don't care. They just want to skip it and go watch the battle report, and I get it.
And some people don't want to watch the battle report and just want to watch this. So now everybody wins. Stay tuned for the battle report. Ogor Mawtribes versus Maggotkin of Nurgle. Kind of. I'm always so confused with your chaos. I'm like, it's
what it is it's subscribe versus subscribe.
that. Have a wonderful war game.